So the UK is actively trying to destroy the internet right now. Eventually, this will probably lead to complete censorship over there, which there already is kind of, but now it's going to be way worse. Now they're starting to require ID checks and age verification to go on certain sites. So the UK has this new law called the Online Safety Act, and what it's aiming to do is protect children. But in reality, it is just a major government censorship program to try and figure out who these people are posting anti-government, anti-whatever on the internet. This is very concerning because the UK already has a past of doing this stuff. I've heard stories of people literally having the police called on them and them getting arrested for posting comments on Facebook. And now it's going to be way easier for these people to be tracked down. And all this is packed into a law to protect children by preventing them from accessing those fuzzy websites, which we can all agree, I think, is good. But going about doing that, no one really knows how to do in a good way. And the way they're choosing to do this is terrible. So now to access parts of the internet, you have to literally upload government-issued photo IDs. This is not for all sites. Discord allows you to upload an age verification photo, which is better, but still, are they saving the photos? Like, the T app apparently was supposed to delete the photos after you sent them, but they didn't. And do we really trust Discord, the site that has, like, probably the most CP in the whole world on it? Let's talk about those fuzzy websites. You really are telling me you're going to upload photo IDs, photos of yourself to these fuzzy websites? I don't think anyone is. And what people are probably going to do instead is just get a VPN. It's very simple. Download your VPN and pretend you're in the United States. Pretend you're in Romania, I guess. Eventually, I think this will start spreading around the world because there's a lot of Karens. For the meantime, the people in the UK are going to be able to say, oh, I'm in the United States. I'm in Canada. I'm in Mexico. I don't know. I'm in Greenland. Even I don't know if they have that. It might just be part of Denmark or something, or maybe they use Iceland's. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But, you know, just say I'm using a VPN. You can't tell where I am. And since this law was put into place, 6,000 websites have completely stopped business in the UK, which are probably mostly fuzzy websites, but still, it shows you just how big of a law this is, how big of a change this is. And to be honest, I didn't even hear this coming. It's kind of a crazy thing to say, but I didn't hear about this until it happened. Obviously, this was something that was happening behind the curtains, and I'm sure lawmakers were trying to figure out things to appease the small base they have and trying to get general consensus to win the next election, and this is something they pulled out of their ass. It's either going to backfire terribly on them, or enough Karens and enough whatever male Karens are going to support this and say, oh, we got to protect the children. What are those geeks saying about online privacy? Oh, we got to protect the children. And this is all inside of a country where there have been literal reports of people being arrested for saying things on Facebook. Hate speech, which is not even hate speech in some cases. They come to their door. They basically treat it as if it's like some kind of mental health crisis, and they talk to you and they look for evidence and then they arrest you. They literally can arrest you for hate speech in the UK. So now with this, it's going to be way easier to track these people down. So government censorship is going to go from what sounds dystopian to what is a literal dystopian country. The good thing is there's been some workarounds with these age verification sites. Discord was literally allowing people to take photos of Death Stranding characters and upload them to their database, and it would come back as, oh, you're an 18-year-old male. You can go ahead. Obviously, Discord's going to catch wind of this, and they're going to ban uploading Death Stranding photos and whatever game looks realistic enough. But still, there are some ways around it. I don't know how long that has. And again, there's no centralized government database or anything provided from the government to assist with this. So you are literally trusting sites like Discord, Reddit, whatever fuzzy website you visited last night to store pictures of yourself. Like, obviously, we don't know if they're going to be deleted or not. This is actually pretty scary. And again, the T app, they didn't delete anything. It was like publicly facing database. What is that? Like, literally had no password from what I understand. Like, that's crazy. We're trusting sites like that. Don't you think every single fuzzy website might be basically like the T app in the way it functions? And another scenario is where large companies start using third-party sites, and you start seeing these massive databases from multiple sites, multi-million user sites, all conglomerated together. And imagine a data breach on there. Just look at what happens with Paradox AI. They literally created a hiring manager type of thing for McDonald's, and what ended up happening is people figured out how to hack into these chat logs by literally typing in the password 123456. And this is a company I think I've heard of, Paradox AI, in charge of this. This is a somewhat large company. Like, are we serious? You're really going to trust third-party sites like that? Like, shouldn't? Also, people could just use VPNs. Like, my mom literally in the 1990s was using a VPN from Tokyo to connect to her computer and those servers from her office in New York City. VPNs have been around forever. So how exactly are they going to go about banning VPNs? I feel like that'd be pretty hard. A lot of people are going to already have VPNs downloaded and installed on their computers. And also, if they try and ban them, the most they can do is try banning consumer-facing VPN sites. Obviously, people are going to still be able to use VPNs. And if you're not operating within a country, there's really not much they can do legally to try and harm you. So as long as you don't go to that country or do business with that country, you're fine. You can have a VPN app and update that and have everyone who already has it installed, you can keep them up to date. There's going to be no consequences of that. So I don't know exactly how they're going to go about banning VPNs. I guess they can try and say, hey, if you catch someone with a VPN, report to MI5. Hey, guess what? This guy in the coffee shop, Brad, he's using a VPN. He's accessing fuzzy websites without any age verification, without any photo ID. You got to get over here real quick. Come on. I don't know if that's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure those reports take probably weeks to process, but you know what I mean. Like, that's probably what's going to happen, probably. Really, I think this law is probably pretty unpopular over there. Like, I'm sure most people, at least my age, think it's fucking stupid. I think people older are probably going to be confused by the idea, oh, we got to protect the children. You know, the Karens are definitely going to be confused by it. But I think if there's a successful campaign to kind of explain this to boomers and people older, or maybe even like millennials, like older millennials probably have no contact with us whatsoever either. But, you know, if we try and explain that to them, then this probably can be caught dead in the water. And this affects other things other than just fuzzy websites. Wikipedia is affected since it's considered a class 1 site. Since it has 776 million users in the UK, which is insane. What they're trying to do is cap monthly users and try and bring it down below that threshold, which they're well above. I believe it's 26 million. I don't remember off the top of my head. They're going to try and cap that below so they don't fall into that and they don't have to basically dox their entire volunteer workforce, which is, we're like, governments are now just forcing people to dox their employee. That's just insane. I don't know. This is really just so stupid. And sites like Reddit are going to have to start blocking subreddits like r/stop drinking because they're considered 18 plus communities, which it's a useful resource for people who are trying to stop drinking. And, you know, it might not be for kids, but still it's not. This is going to affect a lot of people since Reddit is a fundamental part of the internet. Like Wikipedia, you look up something, you either get a Reddit article, Wikipedia article, or maybe some other site you're going to click on. Reddit is so fundamental to the Google experience and search engine experience that it's going to be hard to use the internet. And if you're looking for help to stop drinking, this is going to be one less resource there is. And now this also means that sites that have user-generated content, like YouTube, are going to have to spend a lot of time moderating their own sites, which they do, but you're going to have to be even more careful, otherwise they can be blocked. We all remember COPPA. It was supposed to protect children again on YouTube, the platform YouTube, from made for kids content. So basically any video that's made for kids, the comments get turned off and a bunch of features and a lot of tracking features get turned off, which I think is kind of good. But again, there's like this weird blurred line of what is kids content and was not. Like I used to make Minecraft Let's Play videos, like, and just talk about my day. Is that considered kids content? I'm not really sure because I'm playing Minecraft, which I would consider a kids game. But I'm talking about adult subjects while playing Minecraft. Is that something a kid should be listening to? I don't think so. But Minecraft, I guess that's a kid's game. I don't know. Like, what do I select there? And there's also like fines. If you are not complying with this, you can literally be fined by the US government. So this has some similarities to the COPPA. And there's also a new variant of COPPA that is kind of similar to this in the US. So this is not something that's only affecting the UK. This is something that potentially could come to the United States. And I remember hearing about this a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, that this was potentially going to happen, but luckily it hasn't passed. Also, the administration currently in power is kind of behind it. So it is possible a similar law could be proposed very soon. And also, since some states have been basically banning fuzzy websites within themselves, a lot of sites have been putting up these messages saying 18 plus, click yes or whatever. That is something we're probably going to see with OSA, which is an even more extreme version of this. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing some websites doing this, either because they want to get ahead of this and they want to start doing this early, probably is unlikely, but some of them may, or the US government literally puts this into law and we have a very similar thing over here too. And obviously this is a major erosion of free speech because we all know where this is going. Eventually this is going to lead to mass censorship in the UK. And you say anything bad about the government, you're going to be thrown in jail, you're going to be called an extremist, something is going to happen to you. You're just going to either just be arrested probably, and they're going to search your house and they're going to ask you ridiculous questions and you're going to be like scratching your head and you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on in my country? And yeah, that might happen in the US soon. And since there's no real clear guidance on what is and what isn't, this easily can be applied to pretty much anything. Anything the government deems unacceptable, you're thrown in jail. There you go. That could happen. We don't know. And you've got public service figures in the UK talking about banning VPNs and saying this is a loophole they're getting around. Just connect the dots. You got your age verifications being put into place. You've got people talking about banning VPNs. And now this is probably going to lead to complete censorship of speech and a complete erosion of free speech. Eventually this could spread to the rest of the world. Even if this is just complete incompetence and they really are meaning good, which doesn't seem so, because I honestly believe if they didn't go after VPNs and didn't say this was some kind of loophole, I'd say, okay, these guys are just absolute fucking morons. They're just trying to ban over 18 content. They're trying to ban the fuzzy websites. All right, whatever. They're idiots. But they're going after VPNs, and that really shows me that this is way more than just trying to ban those fuzzy websites. They're trying to ban free speech in their country. So in summary, this is a major, major threat to free speech literally around the world. The free internet is in peril. This could be the start of the end of the free internet as we know it. So if I were you, I would start installing VPNs, start learning how to use Tor. Tell other people you know and trust to download VPNs as well. If everyone bands together to make this law completely ineffective, it could go away, potentially. I don't know. I think you need to start a grassroots campaign to try and convince boomers that this is fucking retarded and that this needs to go away entirely. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I pretty much respond to every single comment down there. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye.